Hi! Most people can chat with Codex to make an app work generally, but they can't go deeper to make the app more specific as an expect to help you or your users. In this video, I will share a workflow to make your app more accurate by fine-tuning a model. It can answer your question better and solve your problem more precisely. Is our process to build our app ToneBridge, a language learning app I built with my husband during Hugging Face Build Small Hackathon. I will go through workflow step by step to explain process from zero to we get the app more specific to answer our request. But don't worry, we are not going to be machine learning engineer here. We will not go more deeper into the parameters. I just want to tell this method how to guide your app to become more precise, to make it work better for your own case. Based on Hugging Face with open source model and with Codex, we don't need to write any code. At the end of the video, I think you use the same workflow to make your apps, no matter it is a chatbot or text generation app or voice generation app or image generation app, so what you want. So let's go. All of this you need is Codex account, a Hugging Face account, and a model account if you want to do exactly the same fine-tuning process like us. And all of this can be linked to your Google account and you can start for free. So first, let's talk about the demo. The demo is the first version of your app. At this stage, you need to make it work, make it look like what you want. You can simply tell Codex what problem you want to solve and what solution you imagine what kind of app looks like. For example, in our case, we built this app for Chinese learners who can already make a sentence but want to speak more naturally in different contexts with the different tone. If you want, you can see this video to learn more story. This is our first point. Besides correction the sentence to adapt the different context, we also add some features like pinyin to help learners to read it, explanations to help them understand why this version works better. So the first version of ToneBridge was already worked. Users could choose the context, the tone, and the Chinese level. Enter a sentence in the app will correct it and all the features I have mentioned. If you don't have any idea what to build yet, or you can't clarify with your idea, I recommend G-Stack Skills. It is a skill created by YC founder to help builders brainstorm and clarify ideas. It can help you go through several rounds of thinking to figure out what the real problem, what the solution could be, and how to organize your ideas. And if you want, you can also go Dribble or Behance to find the UI interface as a reference, then give all of this information to Codex to let it generate the first demo for you. Like us, we built our app on Hugging Face as a space. So if you want to do the same way, you can give your Hugging Face account to Codex to ask it to create a space for you, or you create a space by yourself and give him the link. There is two ways to create the space with Codex. Once you create the space and you give the information to Codex, you don't need to drop the files by yourself because Hugging Face Click can connect with Codex, so they can work together to create a space, connect models, download models. Someone who has already a little bit experience of web coding, for now it is not difficult. The difficult is the next step, how to make your app more specific to fit with your solution. Because this is the first demo, first version, it works, but it's not good enough. Like us, for now, our app can correct the sentence, but it's not reach the level we want. We want this app could generate different tone and in the different context. So we need to go fine-tuning the models to optimize it. In our case, we have asked this question in community of Hackathon. OpenBNB engineers respond us to use mini CPN 4.1 8B, so we just use it. Never mind of this name, it's just the name of the model. 4.1 like GPT 5.5 and 8B is the size of the model, so we don't need go deeper than that. It's enough. I just explain the fine-tuning models very simply. It's like training a very smart intern. The intern is already smart, but they don't fully understand what we want. And what we want is not simply to explain just by the point. That is why we need to give the interns more example to let the interns learn it by himself. So we know fine-tuning need three things. the dataset as the example to feed the model, base model, and a clear standard for judging the answers. Because after fine-tuning, we need to test the performance of the model. With the help of the Codex, tuning the model is not difficult. So what we can control to guide the result of the fine-tuning is the qualities of the dataset. The dataset we feed to the model will be your app taste. It tells the models which kind of answer you accept and which kind of answers you don't accept. If you find your default model is so far from what you want, you can do like us, break fine-tuning process into more detailed steps. In our case, we found that the model we used, it could correctly the grammar, but it also rewrite all the sentence completely. It's not what we want. So for the first dataset, we want the model to learn, correct the sentence without rewrite it completely. So we decided to do 2 round fine-tuning and build 2 datasets. The first fine-tuning to make the model understand, correct the input sentence, but don't rewrite it completely. So the dataset is very simple, like input is as a user meaning and output as answer we want. For the second round, we build the dataset with input sentence in different situation. So the structure was input sentence, output sentence, and situation. And we decide to give 3 situations like works, friends, and WeChat. And in each situation, we gave 2 tones like formal and informal. So that is how we structured our dataset. After that, we need to generate our dataset. We could generate dataset by Codex because we need a large example to feed the model. But the best way is not just chat with the Codex to ask him to generate the dataset. The best way is a mix of Codex generation and human creation. We do like this. We wrote the input sentence, as Chinese learners will say, and the output sentence is by myself. And then give them to Codex to ask it to generate the same kind of the dataset, starting with a small number like 50 sentence or 100 sentence. And then I randomly checked this dataset Codex generate, corrected it, gives my feedback to Codex, and he will regenerate a little bit more examples, and I correct it again, give Codex my feedback, and we do several iterations to build the dataset more and more bigger until 2000 group sentence for the first dataset and 5000 examples for the second dataset. So for now, we have the dataset. We can feed to the model to guide the model where we want it to go. And as I said, fine-tuning job process can be very simple. Copy the comment of the Codex generate on terminal, and that is happen. We use Modal to do the fine-tuning job. It is a platform that can create the environment to do the fine-tuning. And this Modal will find the model and connect with the dataset and do the fine-tuning job. When it's finished, it will send the models back. You just go to take a coffee or fine-tuning is just finished. So for this whole part, fine-tuning models is not the hardest part. How to build a dataset to explain the models understand better is the hardest part, to be honestly. And every time when we finish the fine-tuning, we will go back to Hugging Face space. We could ask Codex to replace our fine-tuning models functioned on our Hugging Face space, has the response to judge if it's better or not. And here is a little tips. Don't fine-tuning models too many times, like 10 times or even more, because it might overfit your model. It's like a capable intern starting too many same things, and he just repeat the answers like a robot. Another way to find a good result for your app is to use the same dataset to train different similar models and see which one gives the best result. Then you can replace the models in your app and find the best fine-tuning version for your app. I'm very proud of the product, so let's see together what this space looks like finally. The learner can input a sentence and speak a sentence, then they choose the context. For example, like a work, friends, or WeChat. Each situation, we have 2 tones, like a formula or informal, and then the app gives an output based on the situation. It gives the correct sentence, pinyin to guide the learners to read it. Why we created like a voice feature to guide the learners to read the sentence better, and we also added the feedback feature. The space is all Hugging Face, but we can add it on our phone screen. It could be used as an app on your phone. You can open it anytime you want. So, and for the last part, you can also build a dashboard like we did to observe the result, to observe how many people do you have used it. You think it is finished? If you have Reachy Mini, you can even run your app on your Reachy Mini. It can be a language assistant to help you to learn Chinese more happier. So now we have go through the whole process from zero to building the demo and get your demo more precisely to fit your app version. So this is today's video. I hope this video will help you. You could use this workflow to build your space or Hugging Face. And if you are a Chinese learner, I will put our app ToneBridge or comment. And if you give a like to our space, that would support us very much. If you have built something, you could leave the comment. I will go there to see and try it. Let's build it. And this is all of this video. And see you next time.